members of the ministers, members of parliament, and all the mourners. Macho Dogo was a patriot. Because as you hear, I first saw him in 1986. I sent out a social media message telling the social media people when I first saw him. I was actually mixing it up in my head. I didn't remember whether it was 1979 or 1986. However, when I went to Rubir Barracks, that's where I saw him for the first time. And I don't know when he joined the army, but I saw him manning a gun that we call 14.5 millimeter anti-aircraft gun. It's an anti-aircraft gun. That's why I saw him for the first time. And you can know that he was a patriot because you remember initially the political elite from the north were trying to confuse our people in the north to be against the NRA. They were telling them that that NRA had overthrown government Megwa, government Megwa, the government of the Achodis, and that all our northern people should be against the NRAM. Therefore, you can see that there are some of those cadres from the north who rejected that nonsense because they knew, I don't know how they knew, but they were not swayed by that misrepresentation. And he joined the NRA. I have now been told that it was 1986, early, when I saw him the first time. So he was a patriot. He didn't listen to the tribal, to this one. That one I saw, and I can witness because I saw it. Then later on, he proved that he was a good soldier. As you hear, that name Macho Dogo, which in our Luo language means Mach is fire. Dogo apparently means something to come back. You had Honorable Betty telling you the context of that praise name. It is because he was effective against the rebels, and the people were able to go back and cook and have a normal life instead of fearing to make fire so that the terrorists see them and come for them. So that is the second quality of Macho Dogo, a good soldier, a patriot and a good soldier. Now, he was also very active in development. I didn't know about the farming. Nobody had told me about the farming, which the children have talked about. But I remember when he was LC5 chairman, he was always telling me about a school called Icheme something, that was supposed to, I don't know whether it was it among what happened to Icheme, among Tiekwene.
Your Excellency,
Is it Icheme Secondary School or what?
Icheme Girls Secondary School.
There was always Engola with Icheme. What happened to you? You tell us what happened.
Icheme Girls is a secondary school that needed additional infrastructure, and it also earlier had been attacked by the LRA.
And what did we do about it? Because he was talking about it all the time.
He wanted it to be supported with
But
infrastructure.
what happened? Did we support it or what?
At the moment, it is a Catholic-founded school. The support has not yet, what he had envisaged had not yet been done.
Oh, that's terrible. Because Icheme, Aboke.
Then that one is also Aboke Girls, so that was also attacked by LRA and abducted a number of girls that stayed in the bush for a long time and later returned.
So I remember him talking passionately about those projects. Now I've been told, we are hearing all of us here, that he was actually internalizing our programs, like the 4 acres model, as you heard the children saying. So he was all those things: a patriot, good and courageous soldier, and development-minded. Now, definitely, Okello Engola had nothing to do with the cause of his death. There's no way you can say that this boy did what he did because Engola did this, did that, because, as Among has told you, this boy had just been there 1 month. So it could not have been anything to do with Engola. It must be something else, a problem somewhere else. Now, we are still waiting for the report. The CDF has constituted a board of inquiry. I saw it in an army message. A BOI, board of inquiry, is the way we do things in the army. And this one is headed by a very experienced intelligence officer, Brigadier Gumayo. I saw the message of the CDF. So we are going to get the report. However, I think there is one culprit, one factor, which I suspect. Of course, I have been aware of some of those issues. And this is the members of the political class and even the members of the UPDF departing from the NRA line. Not Engola, but some other people. This NRA, which started in 1971 as a military organization, had started earlier in the 1960s, the mid-60s, as a student movement. People like Rugunda there were part of this, and I was part of that from the very beginning. Now, the NRA ideology and strategy and work method was voluntarism, patriotism. We did things for our country. you can say that for 20 years, from 1965 there, up to 1987, that's a period of about 21 years, we were engaged almost continuously in a political military struggle for no pay and on the basis of sacrifice until we were able to win power. Now, when we won power, among the civilian side, we started getting people who are not listening to our advice, talking of benefits, salaries, allowances. Now, I tried to advise you people, what you are talking about is premature. You are like, there was a situation in the past where there was a big problem of hunger and many people died, including a woman who was suckling a baby. She also died from hunger. But the baby didn't die. The baby kept on suckling the dead body. So when I hear people struggling for salaries, allowances, from where will this come from? You know how Uganda was in 1986. The economy had collapsed completely. So those people who have been pushing that line are really need to realize their mistakes. Until 1996, when I appointed a committee where this friend of ours, General Tumukunde, Lieutenant General Tumukunde was a member, and with our Mzee, Henry Kajura, they wrote a report which you should dig up and read. That report did research. I remember them representing that research to me in Nakasero, recommending that they had done research all over the place, in Sweden, in other places, and they were recommending that now Uganda should adopt a public pay structure where they were calling it compression ratio. Compression ratio. Meaning, what is the difference between the highest paid public servant and the lowest paid public servant? And they recommended that they had done some studies, they had gone to Sweden, and they recommended a compression ratio of 1 to 10, which means that if the highest public paid civil servant is getting 10 million, the lowest should get 1 million. Now this, I brought it to the system. You can trace what happened to it. And that's how I agreed, because from 1987 to 1996, that time of the Tumukunde report, I was getting 150,000 shillings per month as president. That was my salary. And we were rebuilding our country. And I was the highest paid at that time, 150,000. But then, when we started paying these judges, the judges are the ones who started paying 3.2 million that time. So when the Tumukunde brought this report with Kajura, that's when I agreed that as president from 1996, I could be paid 3.6 million, provided everybody adheres to that. And then we bring up the lower people. So if the president is getting 3.6 million, then the lowest person should be paid 360,000. And we thought we had agreed. But no sooner had we agreed on that, then other people started doing other things. So I appeal to Ugandans, to the political class especially, the political class, come back to the NRA doctrine. Our doctrine was work for patriotism, not for pay, because it's not yet time for your country, which suffered so much, to come back to start being demanded, like suckling your mother when she's in coma. When your mother is lying down, maybe not dead, but not conscious, and you are demanding excessive milk from her. So that mentality of allowances, what have you, is a wrong mentality. Because if you say bodyguards, allowances, what have you, how about the ones who are fighting in Congo now? Does it mean that every time a soldier goes on a patrol, he gets allowance? How will you sustain that? And what sort of army is that? So these soldiers, when they come from the army and come to the civilian sector, they get caught up in that mercenarism of the parasites who don't think about their country. Just money, money, money. Money from where? You know your country, how it is. That's why, therefore, as president, I refused. They came to me, increase the salary of the president. Other presidents are getting, I don't know what. I said, those are presidents of other countries. Uganda, I know what it is. So, I have refused the salary rise for the president. Then the salary is 3.6 million. 20% goes to NRM. I don't know where they put it. So I hear Mama Janet on her account on my behalf gets 2.7 million. So I would like to invite, especially the political class and all the others, to come back to the NRA doctrine, because that doctrine enabled us to fight from nothing, with nothing until we got victory. So it's not correct for people to distort our doctrine with this money, allowances and so on. We in the army, what we do, we have got our small pay. Because we knew that if we try to go for big pay, we would never get enough manpower to defend the country. If you have got very high pay, how many people will you pay? That was the problem of Idi Amin. Idi Amin had his so-called soldiers here, high pay, loans for cars. They were staying in Bugorobi flats there. But when war came, they couldn't fight. They had a small army of 20,000. We came with an army of 54,000 from Tanzania. 45,000 Tanzanians, and we, 11,000. They couldn't fight us. They just ran away. Now, if you make the cost of each soldier so high, how will you get enough manpower to defend the country? That's why we said no. We get small pay. In the barracks, which we share with our families. When we go out operation, you get food, not money, food, get food, because your small salary is buying food for your family at home. Now, when you are, what they call these civilians in their mercenary situation, out of station, out of station, out of station. When you are away from the family, you get food. You get food. We cook centrally and eat. Because that's what you need. You need food, not allowances, not money. And we eat. Now, I have checked. These bodyguards who are sent from the guard battalion in Bombo are supposed to get food from their battalion. Food, not money, food. And they cook for themselves where they are. So the investigation will find out what was happening on that side. But the soldiers, although they are getting a small salary, and they only get food when they are on operations, not money, we evolved collective schemes of supporting their welfare. By coincidence, I'm surprised to hear that Mrs. Engola, Joyce, was a teacher in Nakasongola Army School. That's exactly our solution. Our solution was, our soldiers, we cannot pay high salaries. If we try to pay high salaries, we shall never buy equipment to defend the country, nor shall we be able to get enough manpower in case we need numbers. So therefore, you fighters of Uganda, President of Uganda, don't ask for high salary. Excellency President, please, HE. You are wonderful, we know you're HE, but please don't ask for a high salary. Because Uganda cannot afford high salaries for HE, for soldiers, for I don't know what, right honorable what. Honorable earth, honorable heaven, thank you so much. We cannot afford it. So, get a small salary when you are out of station. That's what they call it. When you are not in your home, we don't want you to take the money of the family to buy food on the way. No, we shall give you food when you are on operations. How about my other needs? How about education for my children? The army will educate your children free. In the primary school, in the secondary school. And I'm glad Joyce apparently that's what she said. I didn't know. That she was teaching in the army secondary school. Are there graduates from that army here? From that school? Because she said that some had come. Are they here? The children of the army schools? Are some here? Where are they? You come forward and I see you, how you look like. Go there on the microphone. Go. Microphone. The children from the army secondary school, the army schools. You tell us who you are and what you studied there. Quickly, quickly.
I'm Akulo Susan Winnie. I started from primary Nakasongola to secondary Nakasongola Army.
And what are you now?
Right now I'm at school, but I did an accounting and finance, but I'm still at school again doing nursing after my husband taking me back to school.
That's another issue. But you studied.
Yes.
Okay. The next, quick.
I'm called Okello Robina. I studied from primary to secondary. I did procurement and logistics from Kampala International.
Okay. Quickly.
I'm Adong Sarah. I studied in Bumageni Army Barracks Primary School.
In which one?
Bumageni Army Barracks.
Bumageni.
In Mbali, 3rd Division. And Moroto Army Barracks Primary School, P1 to P7. But I didn't go to secondary, the army school, only primary.
Your parents were rich. They took you to the rich people.
No, when my dad passed on, definitely I remained with only my mom. So she was teaching in Bumageni, and she didn't have enough money to take me to a good boarding school.
No, but the orphans were supposed to continue and finish their education.
There was no one to help me out, Mr. President.
Now you see that. Okay, sit down.
Thank you.
I'm called Ayakaka Winfred. I studied in primary in a army, Nakasongola Army Primary School. Secondary, I studied in Nakasongola Army SS.
Okay.
I did catering stroke hotel management.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm called Anjoyo Agnes from Moyo District. I studied in primary and secondary school, Bombo Army Barracks.
Bombo Army Barracks?
Yes, and
Thank
my
you.
father is a soldier. He's still there. I'm proud of him.
Okay,
He's
thank
called
you.
Ovure Ganson.
Thank
And
you.
I'm a teacher by profession, but
Yeah.
I got married in South Sudan. Currently, I'm working in Sudan. And
In
my
Sudan?
husband is, yes.
You are a teacher, grade what? Graduate teacher?
Yours, I just certificate.
Certificate, grade 3.
Yes, grade
Thank
3.
you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I've been looking for this opportunity, always. Yes, I have been looking for this opportunity to one time say thank you to the NRM government. By the time the late I'm called Tina Mone. I hail from Icheme. By the time the late took me on, I had actually dropped out of school. And the only way, because he also had a lot of responsibility, he said, the only way I can do this is to take you to the army school. I remember him asking me, are you ready to go to the army school? I said, yes, I am ready. And that was the beginning of it. I had dropped out of school for a whole year. And
So
right now,
you studied in what level?
I started from senior 1 once again.
Where?
In Nakasongola Army Secondary School.
Yes.
And until I completed my senior 6 from Nakasongola Army Secondary School, and then did social science at university, picked it on from there. And right now I am working as an administrator at Soroti University.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm called Tumina Rebecca Atim. I studied from Bombo.
Speak in the microphone.
I'm called Tumina Rebecca Atim. I studied from Bombo Army Primary. I went to Nakasongola Army Secondary. I traveled the world with my aunt, who is a diplomat with African Development Bank.
You're working with the Africa?
No. I traveled the world. I'm her personal assistant
Of
of my aunt who works with African Development
okay,
Bank.
you're working with your aunt. Okay.
Your Excellency, I'm Colonel John Mark Semanda.
You are Colonel?
Colonel John Mark Semanda.
Semanda.
Yes, sir. I studied in Nakasongola Army Senior Secondary School, and Madam Joyce was my teacher.
And what,
I'm now the director of sports in UPDF, sir.
you went up to what level?
I went up to LDC. I have a diploma in law.
But you finished A level.
Yes, sir. I started it's from senior 1 up to senior 6 in the Nakasongola Army Senior School.
Thank you, thank you. So, these were the NRA solutions. How would we defend our country? And yet we don't have enough money. Number one, we accept low pay. No business of out-of-station allowances. Do you, CDF, come on the microphone, CDF. When soldiers come from 3rd Division or come to Bomb, do they get allowances or what?
They don't, sir.
They?
They don't.
They don't. They don't. If we were to give, thank you so much. If a soldier is coming from 3rd Division, Moroto, to come to headquarters to consult, and he needs allowance, the other one from 2nd Division needs allowance, how shall we manage? How shall we defend the country? So, we thought about all these issues and we provided answers. You people please, if you want to defend your country, first fight for no pay from 1965 to 1987. No pay. All we wanted was food. When we were fighting Idi Amin here, we were together with the Tanzanians. Tanzanians were getting paid. But for us, we were not getting paid. Who is to pay us? Are we idiots? You are being told that your mother is in sick bay. Your mother called Uganda is in intensive care. You say, you pay me. You must be an idiot. So, we fought for no pay for more than 20 years. And when we came into government, we accepted low pay, but when you are on operation, away from home, you get food. Separate food, not the one of your family. Regarding the other needs, like the schools, you have seen the witnesses. Provide free education for the children of the soldiers, primary, secondary. Where we had a problem was university. In fact, a few days, some years ago, we were debating this. I don't know how they conclude. How do we support? Do we start an army university? But if you start an army university, what courses will you teach there? And we were having the idea, we were still discussing that. We didn't conclude. On health, army health centers. So, education of the children, health catered for collectively. Then you come to, but how about, I'm getting a small salary here, but I'm doing nothing at home. What is the answer? The answer was, I'm a circle. You form a circle. It's called Wazalendo. You can borrow from this circle, you buy tax-free materials from the army shop, and you go and build yourself a small house at home. So when this one is implemented, we would be able to manage to have a strong army, but at a low cost, which the country could afford. So therefore, Like this boy, this Sabit whom they say was having financial problems, was having this, was having this. What happened? The investigation will tell us. The problem is not with the Angola. The problem is somewhere else. We shall find out. And I was checking with the CDF before I came here. What are he told me, he gave me something in writing, that the Guard Battalion at Bombo was sending food to these escorts through the ADCs of the, what they call principals in their language. Principal is the one you are guarding, the big man you are guarding, or the big woman. That's the principal. They said they were sending food. Because these bodyguards should not be the responsibility of the one who is guarded to feed them. No. It should be the unit which sent them to send them food. They may not cook it for them, they can cook for themselves. And even accommodation, they should make arrangements, not necessarily renting buildings or what. They can have tents. When I go up country, you see my soldiers. I don't stay in hotels when I go up country. When I go to Bariregi, even before I had a small house there, I went with my tent. The soldiers went with their tents. The only thing we needed was food. Finish. That is the NRA airline. But therefore, I would want to ask the political class to use, as Joyce said, Okello Engola has been a sacrificial lamb. He has been sacrificed by some problems that were not his. And we should use them to really sort out all these dark areas and go back to the NRA line. The line of Kamun Gomuganda, Mot, and doing what you can afford. And we don't want people who put pressure on us to do things the country cannot afford. Those are real enemies. And those who are doing it should stop, because it derails us. Recently, I supported the increase of the salary for the scientists. This is the NRA doctrine. When we were in the bush, we had no food. We had little food. But if there was some little food, you would give it to the one who is guarding on the OP, so that he does not doze and the enemy comes and attacks us. He eats more food than we who are in the camp sleeping, although we are big people, chairman of high command, I don't know, whatever you call yourselves. Eat less, because you are not needed on the front. Let the one who is on the front be the one to eat so that he doesn't sleep and he keeps watch properly. That was the principle. That's why I said, give more pay to the scientists, because we need them urgently now. These other clerks can wait. A clerk here, a clerk there. There is a clerk who is near the professor. That's because I'm near a professor. I am a super clerk than a sweeper. The one who is sweeping near the professor needs the non-academic staff. The non-academic staff want to increment. The academic staff want to implement, but we don't have the money. What do we do? That's why even the homosexuals think they can make us homosexuals because we want money from them. Because if you fear to sacrifice, if you don't want the hard way, you become a prostitute. That's what prostitution is about. Now, That is a problem caused by the political class who departed from the NRA line and went to the line of mercenarism. Now, but within the army itself, there are some weaknesses which also must be addressed. The 2003, when COL invaded Teso, I went there to fight with COL. And I told Mose Kainerugaba, this MK, at that time he had joined the army, to mobilize all the bodyguards, these bodyguards here. All of them go to the front line. Many of them hid under the beds. I will not tell you what solution I had for them, but I had some solution for them. So within the army, please, this is a very big embarrassment for the army. This is a very big embarrassment for the army. That somebody from you, whom you deployed to guard a useful cadre, ended up killing him. That's not good for you. As the army, you can't cover it up. This one, no. You must accept full responsibility. Why was it? What happened? How could it get to this extent until this boy killed the person you were supposed to guard? This is terrible. So the army will have to sort out its own internal problems. But all this is reversible. In fact, I have started my up-country tours. When I was in the people who are helping me, because the system is a bit clogged with corruption. Corruption had become very serious. The political class, the civil servants, even the ISOs, even this Bet Kamia's group, called IGG, they had all got compromised. But the good thing is that the victims are there and we are here. Who are the victims? The Wananchi. When I went to Acholi in a public baraza, the Wananchi told me all the thieves in Acholi. I've gone back and I'm arresting them now. All of them who I mentioned, who took money of PDM, who took the one of money of Emioga. When I went to West Nile, they told me everything. For instance, there is a new market which the government has built in Arua. The big people allocated themselves all the stores, and they are now subletting to the poor people. This information came from the Wananchi. So I demanded from the RTD, did you hear about, were you in Arua? Yes, I was. Did you hear about this? I heard about it. What did you do? I was going to sack her. She's a girl. She's in Arua there. I was going to sack her. But fortunately, she had written a report to somebody. So I will trace what happened to the report, which came to somebody. What did the somebody do? Now I am continuing with my up-country tour. And of course, if there was a problem of market in Arua, RTD, what did you do? How about, do you know a department called ISO? Have you heard of those people? There's a department called ISO. Have you heard of it? Uh-huh. There is ISO, there is GISO, there is RISO. They are all there. All these things are happening when all those ISOs, RISOs, what? So I was coming for them. But fortunately, Oluka now has written for me a very good document about Masaka, where I am going next. Oh, he has exposed all the thieves. This one stole this one stole that, this one. So I said, Apoyo Rubanga, Eyarama Edeke, our Defo Mungu, we are going to get to the thieves. So it's unfortunate that this wonderful cadre, who gave his best, ended up being killed by a bad product produced by our system. I want to apologize to the family, to the people of Lango, to the people of Uganda, to the people of Africa, because Uganda there are 1.6 million refugees here. Because people they don't know where to run, they are now running here. Now here where they are running, you have got these weaknesses. No, it will not happen. I want to assure you that the way we crushed all the bad groups, we shall crush even these thieves. These two parasites, there are two parasites, the political class and some of the civil servants. And who are the victims? The Wananchi and the investors. Investors are being harassed for bribes. That's why I have appointed Nakare Manao to handle that side of the investors. Now, I have heard what the churches are saying. Of course, the bishop preached well. How we are a tent here, a tent of the spirit. Now, we shall leave the body here and go to heaven. Okay, that's very good. But God, the maker of the tents here, and the one who built the permanent home where we shall go, arranged that the tent can go on for 110 years. The tent here, that's what the Bible, that part they read. So for Engola to die at 64, when he was still energetic, this is not good enough. I don't accept the line that, oh, God is the one who decided. No. We have got our own responsibilities here. We must examine and get rid of all these weaknesses here. Then, when the time comes for going to heaven at the right time, no problem, we shall leave this tent and go to the other permanent home. That's no problem. But for me, I am both a Christian but also a Mnyankore. Now, with the Banyankore, before the coming of the Christianity, we did not believe in resurrection. We used to say, Abafa Tabazoka. The ones who die never come back. That was our view. But we also believed in some form of eternity. If you died and you had children, they say, Yafayanye Itze. He died when his children were old. So I'm very happy to see that Okello had Kunyetsa, his children. His children have grown up. So they are there. Now you keep, and Joyce is a tough lady. I heard what she's saying. You keep the legacy of Okello. Now, then, I think Okello, what he was doing, the other permanent home also, he may have accessed it. So we work for both. We work for here, but also there. I like these young bishops who are coming, like Bishop of Lango. I think